bifurcating. Kukṣiḥ, the middle portion. Stanayan, udanvān, the ocean. Utsṛṣṭa, creating. Dīrgha, high. Ūrmi, waves. Bhujaiḥ, by the arms. Ivārtaś, like a distressed person. Cukrośa, prayed loudly. Yajña-īśvara, O Master of all sacrifices. Pāhi, please protect. Unto me. Iti, thus. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me in two. Kindly give me protection. Purport. Even the great ocean was perturbed by the falling of the mountain-like body of the transcendental Boar, and it appeared to be frightened, as if death were imminent. Text 30. Kuraikshuраprairdharayam stadapa utparaparam triparurasayam dadarshagam tatra sushupsuragre yam jivadanim swayam abhyadatta. Translation. Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it. Purport. The word rasayam is sometimes interpreted to mean rasatala, the lowest planetary system, but that is not applicable in this connection, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The earth is 7 times superior to the lower planetary systems, namely Tala, Atala, Talatala, Vitala, Rasatala, Patala, etc. Therefore, the earth cannot be situated in the Rasatala planetary system. It is described in the Vishnu Dharma. Patala Muleshwara Bhoga Samhatau Vinyasya Padau Prithivim Cha Bibhrataha Yasyopamano na babhuva sochuto mamastu mangalya vivruddhaye harihi. Therefore the Lord found the earth on the bottom of the Garbhodaka ocean, where the planets rest during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. Text 31. Swadramshtrayor dhritya mahim nimagnam Sauthita samruruche rasaya tatrapi daityam gadaya patantam sunabhasandipitati vramanyuhu. Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then, his anger glowing like the Sudarshana wheel, he immediately killed the demon, Hiranyaksha, although the demon tried to fight with the Lord. Purport. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literatures describe the incarnation of Lord Varaha, Boar, in 2 different devastations, namely the Cukrośa devastation and the Swayambhuva devastation. This particular appearance of the Boar incarnation actually took place in the Swayambhuva devastation, when all the planets other than the higher ones, Jana, Mahar and Satya, merged in the water of devastation. This particular incarnation of the Boar was seen by the inhabitants of the planets mentioned above. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti suggests that the sage Maitreya amalgamated both the Boar incarnations in different devastations and summarized them in his description to Vidura. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutav Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Yasvahanubhavam Akila Shruti Saramekam Adhyatma Divam Atiti Tirishatam Tamondam Samsarinam Karunayaha Purana Gohyam Tam Vyasa Sunam Upayami Gurum Muninam. Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Mande Balopiyatat Anugraha Tare Nana Matagraha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram. So vajra-kūṭāṅga-nipāta-vega viśīrṇa-kukṣiḥ tanayan udanvān utsṛṣṭa-dīrghormi-bhujair ivārtaś cukrośa yajñeśvara pāhi meti. Translation: diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of sacrifices, please do not cut me into two, kindly give me protection. So, very poetic verse, and also quite descriptive of what is happening here. This word pāhi is used by devotees to seek the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One instance where this word appears is Uttara, the wife of Abhimanyu, runs towards Krishna when the Brahmastra released by Ashwathama chases her in order to destroy Parikshit in her womb. So at that time, as she approaches Krishna, who is about to depart from Hastinapura to back to Dwaraka, she says, Pāhi pāhi mahabaho deva deva jagatpate. This is the word she uses, Pāhi pāhi mahabaho. Another famous place where this word pāhi comes is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses it. Where? So where? Yes. What does he say? Yes. Krishna, 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 He. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Ram. And then Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pāhi Mam. So, this is a famous song sung by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As he traveled in South India, he would first sing Krishna, Krishna. It's a song that actually can be sung. I've never sung it here actually. But yeah, it's right there. So it's very nice. So there's a nice. This is the meter that I've heard devotees sing. And so there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pāhi Mam, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. So, Pāhi, as the word says here, protect or deliver. Pāhi also can mean deliver. Raksha, protect. So, Pāhi, here, it's synonymous, as it's said here. Pāhi, protect. Pāhi, deliver. It can mean deliver from suffering. And can also mean protect. So, this word is used, and here the Sanskrit it's a very beautiful verse. It says, vajra-kūṭāṅga-nipāta-vega, that it is like a thunderbolt hit the ocean. When a thunderbolt hits a tree, it can literally split the tree right into half. You've seen it. Sometimes I've seen videos, a lightning bolt strikes the tree, and the tree grows up in flames, and the two the trunk of the tree splits right in half. So this is what seems to be happening here. Is like the Supreme Lord, He appears out of the nostril of Brahma, and then He grows big, and now He's on the top. This is the higher planetary, even higher than the higher planetary systems. This is the highest planetary systems, that is the Jana, Tapas and Satya lokas, which do not get destroyed at the end of the day of Brahma. So they're all the way in the top, and Brahma and Varaha is up there, and the water of devastation is all the way in the bottom. The Garbhodaka ocean is all the way in the bottom. And Lord Varaha, in his huge form, literally dives, diving bolts towards the ocean. Now, it says here that what happens is it's split into two, right? Viśīrṇa, bifurcating. And what does that bifurcation mean? Bifurcation means that literally the ocean became two. It's completely two. That means that the size of Lord Varaha was as huge as the entire water of devastation itself, like almost practically as huge. Because if you drop something huge, you do have huge waves, but it won't part. Now, when you want something to part, you have to put something really massive to fall with great force, almost as big as the body of water itself, and that will part, and whatever is falling in will literally touch the bottom of that water, and that's how it bifurcates it into two. So, and the amazing thing is, this water is unlimited, but how could it be bifurcated? Because the Lord is unlimited also. So the unlimited can bifurcate the unlimited. And that's what happened. That the unlimited Lord bifurcated the unlimited ocean, and the arms went up. And I mean here the sound that is being created by this. So the Supreme Lord is very dramatic, doing a big, like all the sages and Brahma, everybody is watching, and it's like a transcendental movie. It's very entertaining. I mean, it's like quite amazing, absolutely bewildering, shocking. I mean, Brahma could not even find the water. What to speak? He couldn't. Like, he went into the stem and he went down to the water. He couldn't even find the navel. I mean, for Brahma, that body of water, or where the lotus sprouted from, was completely inconceivable. And here is something that appears out of his nose, becomes huge, and bifurcates that which to him is completely inconceivable. Quite amazing. Just how mind-blowing the Supreme Lord and His actions are, how inconceivable they are. So, and here, of course, there's the sound. It must be terrifying. I mean, it must be pretty loud. The entire water is, it's falling, and it must be a huge sound. And that sound and the two waves, and this is where the poetic beauty of the Bhagavatam comes. It feels like the ocean is raising its arms and crying to the Lord, please protect me, please don't destroy me, because it does, if something falls that heavy, feels like the ocean may cease to exist. And it said here, where is that? Oh, Prabhupada says it in the purport, yeah. He says that it appeared to be frightened. The ocean appeared to be frightened, as if death were imminent. So, even to someone who's knowledgeable, death is a frightening thing. Not for the completely self-realized soul, but for others. Even for regular devotees who haven't reached the stage of perfection, death can be something quite amazing. And the way the Supreme Lord executes that death, the function of death, it's very mysterious. It's very bewildering. And it's always perturbing for one who's not self-realized. Whereas Srila Prabhupada says that otherwise for devotees, one who's reached the perfectional stage, death is just like sleeping. And Prabhupada says, you wake up in Krishna's abode, and you will see Krishna in front of you. This one quote of Srila Prabhupada. It's quite amazing. And think about it, I was reflecting on this verse, I was like, how amazing. Really? Is that actually like going to happen to us? Or at least to me? It's like, but Prabhupada says that yes, if you follow the process, then Krishna will protect you. And death is simply, it's just like sleeping. You sleep, you wake up, and you wake up in Krishna's abode. And that's it. And after that, no more material existence. So, but for one who's not self-realized, who doesn't know his destination, death is frightening. Death is frightening. And so, that's what we see here in this purport. So, okay, going to the next verse. So, translation of text 30. Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean. Although unlimited, he saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation. And he personally lifted it. So, the earth, along with all the lower planetary systems, was all the way in the bottom of the ocean. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada in his purport is saying that it's not that the earth was in the Rasatala planetary system, because if you look at the planetary, if you look at the cosmological diagram, you'll see that the lower planetary systems are actually netherworlds that are literally stuck as under the earth plates of existence, realms of existence that are found underneath. So if the earth itself was not there, then the lower planetary systems couldn't be existing below that. So everything was on the bottom of the ocean. And so that's basically the purport here, is that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that because the earth is superior to the lower planetary systems, it is not possible that the earth alone was submerged. What does this also mean? It means that Lord Varaha didn't just lift a small globe. He lifted the entire Bhumandala. Because if he lifted only one little globe, then all the other systems should have existed. He didn't just lift a globe. So, he lifted the entire lower planetary systems. That's where the planets rest during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. But anyways, it is acceptable, it seems, from what we call as iconography, that it is acceptable that the earth is depicted round like this. And we see that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took the form of Varaha, in whose house was that? Murari Gupta's house. He took and then he lifted a pot, which was resembling the earth. So how do you understand that? Don't know how to understand it. It's inconceivable. That's all. But the point that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making is that the earth couldn't have just been missing. The lower planetary systems, the earth couldn't be in the lower planetary systems because the lower planetary system, the earth is superior. And the earth is on top of these. And so the entire thing must have been missing. Okay, so then text 31. Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his anger, glowing like the Sudarshana wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although the demon tried to fight with the Lord. So, Lord Varaha, among the Dashavatar, is which number? Number 3. Right? So you have Matsya, Kurma, Varaha. Then Narasimha, Vamana. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says that the first 5 forms of the Dashavatar are primarily worshipped in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, with the exception of Narasimha, who is also worshipped by the Gaudiyas. It's very interesting because among the 4 sampradayas, Vaishnava sampradayas, the Sri Vaishnavas are perhaps the only ones that have worship of the primarily. It's not that it doesn't exist at all. For instance, there is a Varaha temple that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited in Bhadrak. It's in Orissa, and it's an ancient Varaha temple. It exists there. But if you were to see, mostly, it is the Sri Vaishnavas who worship these forms. Matsya, there's a Matsya temple. Sri Vaishnava temple is there. And then Kurma Kshetra, we visited, those who went to India last time. And then you have Varaha is worshipped widely. One of the famous temples, we went to that, did we? Did we go to this Narasimha temple? We didn't have the time, I think. No, we didn't go. No, we didn't go. I went with Avadut. It's in Visakhapatnam. There is a Lakshmi Varaha Narasimha temple in Simhachalam. That's the original Simhachalam. And so there's the temple there. And then there is Sri Mushnam, which is the temple of which is also a temple of Adi Varaha. And Kanchipuram, there is a temple of Varaha. Then in Srirangam also has a deity of Varaha. And then there is in Tirupati, there is a deity named Bhuvaraha. And the custom is that Varaha, that was actually a Varaha Kshetra, Tirupati was a Varaha Kshetra, and Varaha allowed Balaji, who is none other than himself, to stay there. So you have to take darshan of Varaha first before you can have darshan of Balaji. So, and then there is a Nitya Kalyana Perumal, which is in near Chennai, on the way to Mahabalipuram. And this deity of Varaha is from the Varaha Purana. So basically what happens is, when Varaha comes out of the earth, with the earth, he kills demon Hiranyaksha, and then the 360 daughters of one sage, whose name I can't recall right now, I'll talk about this later some other time, but they wanted to marry the Lord. They became attracted to the Lord. Then the Supreme Lord thought, okay, this 360. So 360 means it's going to take a long time to marry all of them. So I'm going to marry each one every day. So then he marries 360 damsels in 360 days. So in that temple, there is a marriage for the Lord every single day. Every single day a marriage is performed. Therefore, he is called Nitya Kalyana Perumal. He is one who is always marrying, all the time, all 360, 65 days of the year. He's always marrying. And it's said that Ranganath was invited for the marriage by Varaha. So Ranganath comes, and then he realizes, oh, it's not one marriage, it's 360 marriages. So he establishes a temple for himself over there, because he has to stay there all the time. It's nice, beautiful pastimes of the Lord. And therefore he's also there, because he has to attend the marriage every day. And so the Sri Vaishnavas, they mainly worship these 5 forms. And then who does the Madhvas worship? Madhvas primarily Lord Rama and Krishna. Mainly Krishna, and then Ramachandra. Lord Rama is worshipped everywhere. Parashurama, not really. And then who else after that? After Parashurama? You have Balaram. So Balaram is not also really worshipped much. Madhvas have a temple. Gaudiyas, we worship Balaram, Krishna Balaram. We have Krishna Balaram. And then you have Krishna. So Krishna, he is worshipped everywhere. Right? Krishna is worshipped by the Gaudiyas. We worship Radha Krishna. And then we worship, and then the Nimbarkars worship also Radha and Krishna. The Vallabh Sampradaya, they worship Krishna, Srinathji. So then who do you have after that? You have Buddha. Non-Vaishnavas don't worship Buddha. And then you have Kalki, he's yet to appear, so no worship yet, at least. So, and if you see the Sri Vaishnavas also, they worship other forms like Hayagriva. No, but none of the other sampradayas worship. Guru Maharaj is making these points, quite interesting. That, Hayagriva, none of the other sampradayas worship. It's mostly Rama, Krishna, Narasimha is worshipped a good bit, and then that's pretty much it. This is mainly the worship. And then you have forms of Vishnu himself, that is worshipped widely across India. Okay, so now regarding this, basically, I wanted to go to read from Laghu Bhagavatamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami, where he explains the Leela avatars. So there are 3 Leela avatars. What are the 3 Leela avatars? You have Matsya, then Varaha, and Narasimha. You have these Leela avatars. They appear for the purpose of performing pastimes. So, these Leela avatars, they appear. So, anyways, we're speaking specifically of the Leela avatar of Varaha. And so, this is text 7 of chapter 3 of Laghu Bhagavatamrita. The 4 sanas and Narada appear during Brahma's first day, the Brahma Kalpa. They remain through all the Kalpas. So, Brahma's first day, the Brahma Kalpa. Now, what is this Brahma's first day? Interestingly, it doesn't seem to be Brahma's very first day. Because, text 8. Sri Varaha is described in the first canto. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, for the welfare of the earth. He lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe. According to Sri Vishnu-Dharmottara, this is Rupa Goswami, according to Sri Vishnu-Dharmottara Purana, Lord Varaha lifted the earth from the Rasatala region because it had fallen from its regular place during the flood of universal devastation. Srila Prabhupada says it's not Rasatala. And here, I don't know if the translation is wrong or whatever, but according to Srila Prabhupada, this translation is incorrect. That Rasayam refers to inside the water, not Rasatala. But anyways, this is what is found in this purport here. So quite interesting. Okay, text 9. And in the second canto, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar as a pastime, just to lift planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe called Garbhodaka, the first demon Hiranyaksha appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. Purport. This verse poetically states that the Lord assumed the form of Varaha, Bibrat Kraudrim Tanum. The complete picture is that the form of Varaha exists eternally in Vaikuntha and appears as an avatar at certain times and places in the material creation. The Brihad Bhagavatamrita mentions that Lord Varaha is present within the shell of the elemental earth that surrounds the universe, where goddess Bhumi worships him with incomparable opulence. So, you have the coverings of the universe, and what are the coverings of the universe? So you have earth, fire, water, air, ether, then mind, intelligence, and ego. So in that earth shell, Varaha has his abode, and Bhumi worships him over there. Also, there is another place where Varaha is worshipped, where that's in the 5th canto. Okay, well, first we did. In the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Maitreya tells Vidura about the Varaha avatar, and in the 5th canto, Shukadev describes how Bhumi Devi worships Varaha in the Uttarakuru region of Jambu Dvipa. So in Jambu Dvipa, there are different regions. We are in... No, Bhumandala is the mandala. Where are we? No. We are in Bharata Varsha. You are in the Bharata Varsha. Then you have the Uttarakuru Varsha. You have the there are other ones. Now I can't remember. You have Bharata Varsha. Then you have the there is the Kim Purusha Varsha, and then there's so many other Varshas. So you have these. I think there are 9 in total. 9 varshas in total, of which there's Uttarakuru. These were all visited by the Pandavas when they had to conquer. So there, Varaha is worshipped by Bhumi Devi. So, okay, this, let's continue. Text 10 and 11. He appeared twice in this day of Brahma. He first appeared during the reign of Swayambhuva, the first Manu. He came out from the nostril of Lord Brahma and raised the earth planet from the lower regions of the universe. That supreme among tusked animals appeared again during the reign of Chakshusha Manu. At that time, while lifting up the earth, he came out from the universal waters to kill Hiranyaksha. Sri Varaha has 4 legs, but sometimes he is understood to have a form as half man, half boar. So there comes in the bona fide depiction of what the Sri Vaishnavas widely worship as a half man, half boar incarnation. If you see in Sri Vaishnava temples, the deity of Varaha generally has a body of a human and the head of a boar. Rupa Goswami says that this is okay. This is there because Varaha appears like that also. And this is where it's actually quite amazing, right? You have different manvantaras. How many manvantaras do you have? 14. Ruled by 14 manus. And these 14 manvantaras comprise of? What do 14 manvantaras together is? Is one day of Lord Brahma. So one day of Brahma, one kalpa refers to 14 days. So Brahma's day is divided into 14 parts. So if you take the entire day, you divide it into 14. Each part is considered to be one manvantara. And the first one is Swayambhuva. Then you have Chakshusha. Chakshusha is like, I think it's the fourth manvantara, I think. 4th or the 5th, somewhere there. And Swayambhuva is the first. We are in, what is it called? Close, very close. Vaivasvata manvantara. We are in Vaivasvata. Vaivasvata is 7th. And therefore, we are said to be in midday of Lord Brahma's day. It's like we're around the midpoint of Lord Brahma's day. So, Rupa Goswami comments, the first of these 2 Varaha appearances is described in the Bhagavatam's first canto, and the second is described in the second canto. Both of these Varaha incarnations, as well as the 2 Matsya avatars, appeared during this first day, the Brahma Kalpa of Brahma's current month, during the beginning of his 51st year. So this Brahma Kalpa isn't the very first day of Brahma's life. It is the first day of this month of the 51st year. So it's like, it's the first month of his 51st year. So Brahma is right now 51 years old. Today is his birthday. And his birthday is still going on. He's having his birthday, 51st birthday. And it's noontime on his birthday right now. This is where Brahma is having in Satya Loka. This is the time right now. And it will remain the time until we die, and much after we die, much after we die, it's still noontime, or it's still at least this day, and then it slowly becomes evening as the manvantaras proceed. So, Rupa Goswami says that so half of the day of Brahma is over, right? In half day of Brahma has already seen 2 Varahas and 2 Matsyas. Apart from that, Rama has come, Narasimha has come, and Krishna has also come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also come. That's a lot going on in one half day. So, Brahma's day is, it's amazing. And I find it inconceivable to think that Brahma is so humble to think that he's in Maya. I mean, like, the Lord's like appearing a lot in your day. It's like a lot of things going on. But it's quite amazing, isn't it? Of course, Brahma is Acharya, so we have to accept his words that he genuinely feels like that. But I mean, it's quite, when you put it in perspective, it's like, wow, that's a lot of incarnations. That's a lot of stuff. And for everything you read in the Bhagavatam, he's amazed. He's amazed. Brahma keeps getting amazed all the time. And in the meantime, there's the churning of the milk ocean. So many things have happened. Okay? Wow, so many things have happened. Read the whole Bhagavatam. The whole thing has happened, and it's still only half day of Brahma. So, the first, and I mean, like, we take years to finish the Bhagavatam. And for Brahma, he's seeing everything, and it's all happened in half day, and there's the Hamsa-avatar, so many things. Right? Okay. So, the first Lord Varaha appeared during the Swayambhuva Manvantara when he came out from Lord Brahma's nostril and lifted the earth. So, Narada and the Sanat Kumaras seem to have been created in this day of Lord Brahma. If we are to take the statement in text 7, where he says that Narada and the Sanat Kumaras were created in the first day of Brahma called Brahma Kalpa, and then Rupa Goswami explains what this Brahma Kalpa is, it means that, and this sort of ties into Narada Muni's story in the Bhagavatam, where he says that previously I was not Narada, I was this boy, a son of a Shudrani, and by the mercy of Vaishnavas I became pure. And then he says, in this day of Brahma, when this day of Brahma began, I appeared as Narada. Is there in the Bhagavatam, if you read that. And this is what we find here, that Brahma has woken up. It's his 51st birthday, and it's the first day. And he creates Narada, he creates the Sanat Kumaras, and all of this is happening right now. And Sanat Kumaras, he's saying, okay, now time to procreate, chalo. And they refuse. He becomes very angry. Rudra appears, and all of these things appear. So the Bhagavatam, it's describing the creation at the very beginning of Brahma's life, and then it sort of like fast forwards to this day of Brahma, and then it begins from there. Like, we don't really hear so much about the creation of the, like we hear that Brahma was on a lotus and he didn't know what to do. And you don't really hear the creation so much of the Jana, Tapas and Satya Lokas. And it sort of fast forwards to where the Jana, Tapa and Satya Lokas already existed, and then Varaha appears. So Swayambhuva Manu is created, and he's like, where am I supposed to populate? The earth is stuck in the bottom. So where am I supposed to populate? And then Varaha appears, and then immediately the sages and the residents of Jana, Tapas and Satyaloka, they're debating with each other. Who is this? So this is what seems to be happening, and this we get this information from Srila Rupa Goswami, that the creation sort of like fast forwards to this day of Brahma. And in this day of Brahma, in the first Swayambhuva Manvantara, he came out of Brahma's nostrils and lifted the earth. Okay, why? Because the earth was stuck in the water of devastation. Why devastation? Because when Brahma goes to sleep, the universe is destroyed. The universe up to Jana, Tapa and Satya, the higher planetary systems, with the exception of those, everything gets destroyed. They get completely destroyed. And the whole, you have Om, Bhur, Bhuva, Suvaha, they get destroyed. So, Indra's abode, all the demigods, everybody is gone. They're, it's finished. So, the earth is stuck there, and Brahma is thinking, okay, the earth is all the way in the bottom. What am I supposed to do? So then, Varaha appears and lifts it. Now, and then Rupa Goswami says, the second Lord Varaha appeared during the reign of Chakshusha Manu when he came from within the universal water, lifted the earth and killed Hiranyaksha. So this Hiranyaksha appears later, and there's a reason why. Because the demigods, they weren't created. Like the whole episode of Diti and Kashyapa and all this couldn't have happened at that time. This Rupa Goswami explains this. And so what happens is this Hiranyaksha, what he does is he takes the earth out of its orbit and throws it into the water of devastation. And therefore Varaha at that time doesn't appear from the nostril, he appears from underneath the ocean. And he lifts the earth and he kills Hiranyaksha. So Maitreya amalgamates these two pastimes and presents it to Vidura. So this is what is happening. Lord Varaha is portrayed with a half-human, half-boar form in the Padma Purana and other texts. So that is also there. And we can also see that the description is that how was Hiranyaksha killed? Huh? Said tusk, and he was slapped. And another way, and what weapons were used? So he had a club. There's that famous painting where Lord Varaha is lifting a club. So it seems possible. It was a half man, half boar lifting club. I know, but you got, this is very technical stuff, But it seems that in order to kill Hiranyaksha, he might have taken this half human, half boar form. Although, you never know. Krishna is capable of, why can't he lift? Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. So yeah, he can lift a mace with his hooves. He can lift a mace with his eyes if he wants to. So he can slap him with his tail or however he wants to slap him. So that's Krishna. But, we see that there is this half human, half boar form of the Lord. So then, text 12. Sometimes he is dark blue like a rain cloud, and sometimes white like the moon. These are two colors the scriptures attribute to that mighty personification of Vedic sacrifice. So the two colors are, he is dark blue or black, as described sometimes, and other times he is described as white like the moon, Shweta Varaha. So these two colors are there. The Varaha of Swayambhuva Manvantara is dark blue, while the other Varaha is white. Rupa Goswami. Text 13. We hear from scripture how Daksha, the son of the Prachetas, repopulated the universe during the 6th Manvantara. From this account, it was reasonable to conclude that Hiranyaksha was born during that period. So what happens is, Daksha was killed. Right? What happened to him? What happened to Daksha? So he offended Shiva, Lord Shiva. And because of that, what happened? His head was cut off. He got his head cut off. And then his head was replaced with the head of a goat. So he only manages to do his service in the 6th Manvantara. That he starts because in the meantime, he basically, he got himself killed because of offenses. So it took him a while before the next Manvantara he appeared and all that fixing and everything. This is described actually here. As stated in the 4th canto, Daksha's previous body had been destroyed. But inspired by the supreme will, he created all the desired living entities in the Chakshusha Manvantara. The previously quoted verse from the 2nd canto describing Lord Varaha's second appearance mentions neither the Chakshusha Manvantara as the time nor the water of devastation as the source of his advent. How do we know then to distinguish this Varaha as a separate appearance? Evidence is found in the 4th canto. Previously, the Supreme Lord had arranged for Daksha to be killed because of his offenses against Lord Shiva and Sati. The Lord then gave Daksha a new body in the Chakshusha Manvantara and inspired him to repopulate the universe. So it took some time before Daksha could get his body. The Bhagavatam really goes the whole times chronology of the Bhagavatam, it really goes a lot. It's spanning a huge amount of time, and things are sort of described succinctly in only 18,000 verses. Text 15. The Prachetas were descendants of Uttanapada. Daksha was their son. Hiranyaksha was the son of Diti, a daughter of Daksha. So Daksha had to create progeny and produce Diti and Aditi. Without producing Diti and Aditi, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu couldn't have been born. But Daksha couldn't produce until the Chakshusha Manvantara. So this Hiranyaksha episode could not have happened in the Swayambhuva Manvantara. This is the point. Text 16. In the beginning of Brahma's day, Manu did not yet have any offsprings. So how could Daksha, the son of Prachetas, be present? And then how could Diti or Diti's sons be present? Here is proof that Hiranyaksha and the avatar of Varaha who killed him appeared not in the Swayambhuva Manvantara but later in the Chakshusha Manvantara. There is no evidence that Swayambhuva's sons Priyavarta and Uttanapada or daughters Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti had children of their own during Swayambhuva's reign as Manu. There is evidence, however, that the Prachetas were descendants of Uttanapada, that Daksha was the son of the Prachetas, that Diti was the daughter of Daksha, and that Hiranyaksha was the son of Diti and her husband Kashyapa. It is thus not possible that Hiranyaksha, born 18 generations, more than 1 billion years after Uttanapada, could have been killed by Lord Varaha, who appeared at the beginning of the Swayambhuva Manvantara, or the beginning of the Kalpa, which is the beginning of the day. Hare Krishna. So, any questions or comments? I just get really excited when I hear all this. I was like, wow, it's just like, wow. All you have is just, wow. I had some other things, but there's no time. But yeah.
Hare Krishna. I guess one thing, we're kind of discussing that, but I heard Guru Maharaj say in a class that it seems like it's like both. Like you have like Varaha like as like a straight like boar form, and then you have like this half.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like interesting. And he's making the point too in the class that that there's like I didn't really like know that, but he was saying there's like I guess I did know it, but there's like a specific Vaikuntha planet for like Varaha, and that form is there. So then devotees that worship Varaha can like go there and then have that half boar form.
Yeah. Sometime I'll probably present a little more from the Varaha Purana and some Sri Vaishnava stuff that I found, which was really nectar.
Yeah.
The Sri Vaishnavas, like they said, they're our primary information about a lot of these incarnations comes from them. Actually, it comes from the Puranas, but they worship these forms of the Lord, being attracted to the nature of Vaikuntha worship, where all these different incarnations and abodes are found. And their temples and the pastimes associated with those temples, they're really, really, really amazing pastimes. Yeah. And there's so many little like details there. This Nitya Kalyana Perumal is known to be very merciful because he always gets married. So people who want to get married or who's struggling to get married or who want to find a spouse, and they go there. And they like, there's so many other wonderful pastimes. I found a deity of Varaha that's a boar in Karnataka. It's quite amazing, It's huge form of a boar, really big. It's in Karnataka. I never seen that. There's so many, just like Narasimha, you could go over each like location, and there's so many different details and pastimes. It's a lot of nectar.
But anyways, I was looking through that when Varaha killed Hiranyaksha, it is like mentioned in the text if you look at that he hit him with his fist. But anyways, you never could like say something else. But
that's why It's very clear that with the one that appeared in Swayambhuva Manu, at least in the Bhagavatam, that this was a full boar.
Yeah.
It entered through the hooves. But the Bhagavatam, I think, when Vidura is explaining, when Maitreya is explaining the pastime to Vidura, he also talks about how Varaha slashes his tail. You seen that?
Yeah.
So, again, it seems like both happened.
Yeah. That's right.
There's the fist.
Yeah.
The boar doesn't have a fist. But then there's the slashing of tail too.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of amalgamation of kalpa bheda and this and that, and it's just like there's a lot of nectar there.
In the painting, that's like one of the paintings that we've seen of Varaha is red.
Yeah, there is a description where of Varaha. Let me pull this up. Let's see. I can't find it now. I had shared it recently. I actually pulled it up yesterday. I forgot to save it. I can't find it at this moment. Nope, I can't find it. Yeah, but there's some description. Shweta Varaha, I've heard of Rakta Varaha also. Yeah. That's what I was trying to pull that up, but I can't.
This chapter, at least in Bhagavatam, is white and blue.
Yeah, but I sent a quote recently on Ashram Kam when Mitravan said that, and so I was trying to pull that up, where there's some indication of this sort of reddish hue, but I'm not able to. I forgot what I sent. That wasn't too long ago. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, 3:14:2.
What is that?
Bhagavatam 3:14:2.
Okay, I've heard by disciplic succession that Hiranyaksha, the original demon, was slayed by the same form of sacrifices. So, as referred previously, the Boar incarnation manifested in 2 millenniums, namely Swayambhuva and Chakshusha. In both millenniums, there was a Boar incarnation. He lifted the earth from the water of the universe in the Swayambhuva millennium, and in the Chakshusha millennium, he killed the first demon Hiranyaksha. The Swayambhuva millennium, he assumed the color white, and in the Chakshusha millennium, he assumed the color red. Srila Prabhupada is saying that. So, what is it? Inconceivable. Yeah. Anything else? Yes, Suresh.
That Rupa Goswami's translation, you said Prabhupada, what was wrong about it? I wasn't sure. What was wrong and how is it correctable? I'm just wondering because, the great Rupa Goswami, I didn't know what the...
Well, it could be lost in English translation.
That's okay.
So Prabhupada is saying the word rasayana is often translated as meaning from rasatala, but Prabhupada says that it cannot be rasatala because the earth is a higher planetary system than rasatala, and therefore it must be rasayana, referring to rasa, referring to water, which is the same word that Krishna uses in Bhagavad Gita, rasoham apsu kaunteya. So
I was just thinking, you're reading through this section and through different references and things like that. Here, considering how Shastra is able to give us very exact understandings of all the different times and how the Lord appears in the different appearances. Because growing up in whatever a Hindu family and then seeing how sometimes, well, in India in general also people don't study such things, and then they can't recognize actually what is the avatars, for example. This is a little stupid, but when I was about 14, 15, I saw somebody went to a temple and put a statue of a kangaroo there. And so all the Hindus started worshipping the kangaroo. It's got a little pouch and a little baby and everything. And it was like ridiculous. It was like making fun of it. It was like so ridiculous. But people don't study such things. But actually, it's quite beautiful. The whole pastime of our
Yeah, and it's difficult, right? Even the Sri Vaishnavas, they worship. I never understood any of these things until this. This king. You worship, and this is what you kind of do, and it's just been going on for years. And they say, oh, like this other thing, Nitya Kalyana Perumal, I've heard so many times actually. When I just sort of reminded when I was reading this again, I visited that temple so many times, and there will be hordes of people over there praying for marriage, and that's what you do. Like, you go to the temple specifically, people travel from all over South India to go to but that's it. Like, all I'm trying to say is, for instance, there is another temple called, there's a place called Gunashilam. There the Supreme Lord Vishnu is known to cure mental diseases. So crazy. There's literally, the government established a crazy hospital for mental people.
It's like America. It must be like America when you get there.
And here's the thing, right? They say it actually works. So it's government run because it works. The government runs it, and then whatever. But that's all you know. So people is like, the Hindus is okay, if they say I get this from this form, I'll worship anything. And yeah. And that's why also the Hindus, they get upset when you use the word demigod. Why you say demigod? Demigod. Because they think anything can be God almost. And then those who are from Abrahamic faiths think that the Hindus are polytheistic, and the Hindus also say, yeah, we're polytheists, and they have no understanding of anything. It's like Vedanta never says polytheism. There's only one Brahman, but no understanding, no clues. So
we went to this temple up in this Madhva temple with Udupi Krishna. It's quite sweet.
Temple, yeah.
Remember that always remains very it's like in my memory, just seeing that form of Krishna is quite beautiful.
He's
quite
very beautiful.
Amazing.
Wait till you see him in Udupi. Oh my God.
Is that Udupi Krishna? It's
the same form, huh?
What's the pastime? How do they specifically?
Is Krishna holding a turning
rod? What is their rasa in worship of?
Their rasa? That's a good question.
Because it's not. It doesn't seem so. It seems to be in the more mood of.
Oh, definitely Aishwarya.
Not so much. Well, there is the Aishwarya, but there is that sweetness to it also.
There is. I'm not sure. At least off the top of my head. I may have to think a little bit about it. Maybe I might look up some things. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt that the Madhvas were too rigid, and he didn't find much rasa there. To be honest, that was his criticism of them, that they're basically so much engrossed in tattva and philosophy that he felt it became somewhat dry. And it's controversial, highly controversial things. Anything from the Matajis? No. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. You know what's funny? We would, because that was one of the main holy places, all our college preaching first trips would be to this Nitya Kalyana Perumal temple. So because it's a holy place and we would take people there. It's kind of funny because we're trying to make brahmacharis and we take them to a temple where they're supposed to get married soon. And so it's kind of funny, but anyways, I was thinking about all this and like really laughing. Like, I guess at least all of them in that batch did get married.